The colony of Terranova Prime stood as a testament to humanity's resilience. On a planet classified as a death world by galactic standards, humans had thrived. The ecosystem was hostile. The weather was merciless. Every creature was engineered by nature to kill. Yet humanity adapted. They built fortresses. They cultivated the land. They learned to live alongside predators that could crush a man in seconds. Terranova Prime was their home. It was their sanctuary. One fateful day, a fleet of ships descended upon the colony. They were not traders. They were not explorers. They were slavers. The Cathraxi were infamous throughout the galaxy. Tall reptilian beings with razor-sharp claws and an unquenchable thirst for dominance. They saw the human colony as an easy target. Small, isolated, vulnerable, the Cathraxi had underestimated humanity before. But this time, they made a mistake that would haunt them forever. The attack came at dawn. The Cathraxi breached the colony's defenses with orbital strikes. The humans fought back. They always fought back. But against the advanced weaponry of the Cathraxi fleet, they were outmatched. The invaders stormed the colony. They rounded up the children first. Humans screamed. They fought. But it was futile. The Cathraxi took the children and retreated to their ships. They left a trail of devastation. They left behind grieving parents. They believed they had won. Captain Darnik stood on the bridge of the Cathraxi flagship. He gazed at the viewport. The colony was burning. He felt a surge of satisfaction. Humans were weak. Their resistance had been laughable. He turned to his second-in-command. "Prepare the cargo. We depart for the slave markets at Zither." The officer saluted and left. Darnik allowed himself a rare smile. Humans fetched at a high price. Their children even more so. This raid would make him wealthy beyond imagination. Hours later, the Cathraxi fleet entered hyperspace. They believed they were safe. They were wrong. Deep in the void of space, a single human vessel pursued them. The Resolute was a warship, an old relic of humanity's wars on Earth. Its hull was scarred, its systems were outdated. But it was fast, and it was deadly. Captain Elena Morrow stood at the helm. Her face was a mask of determination. Her eyes burned with fury. "They took our children, we take them back." The Resolute had no chance in a direct fight. The Cathraxi fleet was too powerful. Elena knew this. Her crew knew this, but humans were nothing if not resourceful. The Resolute stalked the fleet. It stayed in the shadows. It waited. The Cathraxi were arrogant. They did not expect pursuit. They did not expect retaliation. They grew complacent. Days turned into weeks. The Resolute followed the fleet through the void. It studied their movements. It analyzed their weaknesses. It waited for the perfect moment. That moment came when the Cathraxi fleet stopped at a remote fueling station. The Resolute struck without warning. It emerged from hyperspace like a predator. Its railguns tore through the nearest Cathraxi vessel. Explosions lit up the darkness. Panic spread through the fleet. The Resolute did not linger. It attacked and vanished. It repeated this tactic again and again. The Cathraxi grew paranoid. They doubled their patrols. They changed their routes. But the Resolute always found them. It was relentless. It was merciless. The humans on board had nothing left to lose. Their children had been stolen. Their homes had been destroyed. Revenge was their only purpose. The Cathraxi began to fear the humans. They called the Resolute the Phantom. Stories spread among their ranks. They whispered of a cursed ship. They spoke of humans who would stop at nothing. Captain Darnik dismissed these tales as superstition. But even he could not ignore the losses. The Phantom had destroyed 5 ships. It had cost him valuable time. He was furious. Elena Morrow knew she could not win forever. The Resolute was running low on supplies. Its crew was exhausted. Morale was fraying. But they had one advantage: desperation. Humans had always been dangerous when cornered. Elena devised a plan. It was bold. It was reckless. It was their only chance. The Resolute would infiltrate the Cathraxi flagship. It would rescue the children. Or it would die trying. The plan was set into motion. The Resolute approached the fleet under cover of a dense asteroid field. Its crew prepared for battle. They armed themselves with makeshift weapons, knives, clubs, anything they could find. They knew this was a suicide mission. But they did not care. Their children were on that ship. They would not abandon them. The Resolute rammed the Thraxi flagship. The impact shook both vessels. Alarms blared. The humans swarmed aboard the enemy ship. They fought like demons. The Thraxi were larger, stronger, but the humans had something their enemies did not: rage. They fought with a ferocity that terrified the Thraxi. They overwhelmed them. Captain Elena Morrow led the charge. She was a whirlwind of destruction. Her crew followed her without hesitation. They pushed deeper into the flagship. They encountered resistance. They overcame it. They reached the cargo hold. Inside, they found the children. Scared, crying, but alive. Relief washed over the humans. But their mission was not over. They had to escape. The humans and the rescued children retreated to the Resolute. The Thraxi pursued them. The battle was chaotic. Explosions rocked the ships. Fire spread through the corridors. But the humans were relentless. They fought their way back. They boarded the Resolute. They sealed the airlocks. The ship disengaged from the flagship. It fled into the void. The Thraxi fleet gave chase. The Resolute was outgunned. It was outnumbered, but it had one advantage. Its crew. They were fighting for their children, for their future, for their survival. They evaded the enemy. They outmaneuvered them. They outsmarted them. The Resolute escaped. The humans returned to Terranova Prime as heroes. They had defied the odds. They had reclaimed their children. They had shown the galaxy what it meant to be human. The Thraxi learned a harsh lesson. Humanity was not to be underestimated. They were not prey. They were predators. They were persistent. And they would never stop fighting for what they loved.